What's going on, everyone? This is Trevor here for RSG, and today we're going to be taking a look at the WM-9 Pro wireless microphone system, mainly meant for lavalier mics because it comes with the lavalier mics, which are clip-on mics already. I have a lot I got to tell you about this thing because I think this thing's freaking awesome. So if you want to hear more about it, you know what you need to do? You need to stick around. So let's start out with looking at the Walmart style kind of poker case. Nothing special, a little on the cheaper side, but it gets the job done, holds everything together. So what is there to complain about? Then you've got the foam insert on top, and that helps keep everything together. And also you've got the lid trying to chomp down my hand because it doesn't like my hand apparently. Then you have the instruction manuals coming in English and Chinese, but it's really self-explanatory, or you just don't need it. Just put it aside. Just toss that. There you go. You don't need it. And that's the quick start guide. A little on the broken English side, but don't worry about that. You don't need that either. So we got a transmitter right here. It's got a nice flexible antenna that I had pushed all around with my belly and everything, and it didn't cause any problems, and even as much as I scrunched it. Also, you have the microphone input, which is an 1/8 inch. It's either screw down or push in, whichever you need. Then you have a set button and plus and minus, and a power button, which also acts as mute. Also on the transmitters has a low cut switch, which keeps out all the other noises that you don't need, like air conditioners, things like that, and that's why it sounds so darn good. And then also you have the battery tray, which you just push the two tabs together and you pull the tray out. Now that takes two AA's, it gives you about 10 hours of battery, and it can also take a micro USB port, which you could recharge AA's in, or you could just use one of those phone battery packs and forego the batteries altogether. Then you have the clip for the belt, which is a little on the flexible side, flimsy, but doesn't seem like it's going to break. It's just a little on the flexible side. And of course, you've got transmitter 2, all the same stuff here. Plastic body, nothing crazy, but it all does the job, and that's what matters, right? But now we have the receiver. The receiver has the spot for the two antennas like you see right there, just like you would have on a wireless system for a desktop, like the antennas for that. And then that was the mix or stereo switch, and I just keep it on mix because with the lav mics it comes with, it's not really too stereo-y. And this is the hot cold shoe mount, well really a cold shoe adapter mount, so you can put it right on the top of the camera. And of course here we are with all the accessories. So let's take a look at what comes inside the box, and that's going to be right here. You got your little cushions, what dead cats, I forget the name of them, but yes, it's for extra wind cut down. I found them to be pointless. It looked a little ridiculous on me. But then you also have your antennas, like I told you about, just like you'd have on the back of like a wireless network card on a desktop, for instance. So that's what's going on to your receiver. Now on to the wires here. This one is going to be a mobile phone adapter. Yes, that's right, a mobile phone adapter. So you know how mobile phones need the 3 prongs on the headphone jack for them to pick up as a microphone and stuff like that. Well, that's what this has. And this, it says right there, made for phone, and it has 3 spots on the headphone jack part, which that means it'll work for the microphone on your phone. And now this is going to be one of your lavalier mics, and does a great job. They sounded absolutely awesome. You'll see a couple of snips from interviews I did. And now this is going to be 2 different wires in here. One of them is just an 1/8 inch that goes into like camcorders and stuff like that, or into the mobile phone adapter. And that's the one right here that I have my hand on, kind of tough to get out of the bag. And then there is the XLR adapter to 1/8 inch that goes into something which I will show you a little later, which is my Zoom H6, or anything with a XLR input. And that's basically everything that comes into your package here that you could possibly need to know about. So let's move on to the next part. So here's a quick look at one of the ways that I set this up, which is with my Zoom H6, and I go directly from the out into the Zoom H6 with the provided XLR cable that they give you. Now, that is a little tougher on editing, so I actually like to use this to go directly into my camcorder to make editing much simpler. I never use the phone one because the phone one you could really just get a cheap lavalier mic, and your phone already is like a wireless mic setup in that sense. But then you have the transmitters, which you have 2 transmitters, and they both come with a lavalier mic, and you can hit the power button once to give it a mute. I wish it was a switch, but you know, hey, at least it has a mute, so I can't really complain too much. But that's really all we have to say for this. Let's get on to the next part. Alright, now that we've looked at what's inside of the box, now let's talk about everything for this. This is supposed to be able to go 330 feet in an open area. I probably actually won't doubt, I don't know about exactly 330 feet, but I won't exactly doubt it because it sounds incredibly clear. And I'm going to demonstrate that, of course, in a second. Actually, let's demonstrate that now. I'll be back, and you stay here while we chat on my way down to the bottom of my long, annoying driveway, especially when the winter hits. So, I'll be back. Let's just chat about it. So, while we're on this chat, might as well talk about some things here. I am in a room right now that should be way incredibly too echoey. You might even hear it even more now as I go into a more echoey kind of spot. And it should actually keep it pretty good because of the low cut setting that you have on here. It's just a switch. Now, I wish they would have done a switch for the mute because it's always easier to tell what's going on when you can feel a switch. Just like on an iPhone, you have that silent switch that they always had. You know, and it's always like, hey, is it on or is it off? So regardless, though, they have a button. You just press the power button for that. We will show that when I come back in case you decided that you didn't want to listen to this whole spot of me going in and out of my house. So we're here at the absolute bottom of my driveway, and I am turning around now so you can get an idea of how far away I am, because now we have to walk all the way back up to the house. Now, the good thing is it's not going to take too long. The other thing is you can hear probably all the vehicles that are going by me. The nice thing is also it's pretty nice outside. It's a little chilly to be standing out here with no coat, but regardless, it's pretty nice out. It's funny when you get over winter and you realize that even 45 degrees feels amazing to you after you've been in freezing cold temperatures. But now we're getting up to the crest of my driveway hill here, and still not at the steps of the house. We still have a little bit of ways to go for that, and we're getting there, and I'm getting out of breath. I'm trying not to breathe you guys to death because that can get kind of annoying, but deep breaths should help with that. And then we will get up. Oh, we are here at the steps of the house. And then we are getting to the other steps of the house. And the wind is blowing. So here's a wind test for y'all. And we're back in the house. We're not in front of the camera yet, though. We're getting there. We are getting there. Almost right back to the camera. We are almost back to the camera. Hold on now. The big suspense is coming. We're finally here. We're back. We made it. Did you hear me the whole way? I hope you did. So let's take a quick look at a couple snippets from the show I went to, which was PAX East, where I did a bunch of interviews. I'll do really small clips of the interviews because if you want to see the whole interview, of course, you're going to have to watch the whole interview on my channel. That's right. So make sure you do that. And we got Joe right here for Astroneer, and we're going to be talking all about Astroneer. What's going on with Astroneer?
A lot's going on. So if you didn't know what Astroneer is, it's a space survival exploration game. You land on a planet, and you're tasked with surviving and exploring and thriving on 7 different planets. Co-op, 4 players on Steam and Xbox.
What's going on, everyone? This is Trevor here for RSG, and we are here with Pip for No More Robots. Yes, that's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now that you've heard everything, you've had me do the walk test, you've had me talking in a room this whole time that should be filled with echo, and it's not, and then you've seen me go to my convention and use it for interviews, so you've gotten to see what this thing is like. Now, I will say the company did send this to me. Does that mean that I give it some amazing review? No, you all know me. I'll crap on it no matter what. Because, if it's junk, it's junk. But this thing wasn't junk. Definitely wasn't junk. It feels kind of like junk. It's very plasticky. I'm not very fond of that. And a little flimsy on the belt clip side of it. But I'm not worried about those breaking, and I had no problems with it at all. So I really can't give it a problem there. It doesn't have rechargeable batteries built into it, okay, but you can use 2 AA batteries, which if you use like Energizer Max, the silver and black, some good battery like that or a nice Duracell should last you a sweet 10 hours. You shouldn't have a problem with that. And then you'll also have the power button. You know, if you just tap that, that's a mute, which I wish was on a switch, because you get used to where switches are, and that means you can reach to the side and hit it. You'd almost want to be sure that you actually hit mute, because obviously I can't hear myself through the microphone system. So I can't 100% sure say that I hit mute when I hit it, so I wish that was more of a switch. So those are my downsides about it. But on everything else is an upside. I mean, the battery tray, obviously it's on right now, so I can't take it out. But you just slide it out, put 2 batteries in there. You could even use rechargeables and then charge it through the micro USB port right there. Awesome, that's right. But you can totally forego the batteries altogether and just use the micro USB port with a battery pack like you would use to charge your phones. Like, you know, those battery packs that have the tons of milliamp hours and have the multiple USB ports. Yeah, you could use that and just have that running into the receiver, the transmitters, whichever you want to use, and you don't actually need to even rely on batteries. Having 50 channels was absolutely awesome, because this meant that I didn't have to deal with interference in that big giant convention center that I was in, which I totally thought that was going to be an issue, but it wasn't. So really, there's so much to this that I'm just so happy to have this. And I think that this will definitely be the new channel mic, because it lets me walk around. I don't have to stay exactly in spot. You know, I don't have to make sure I'm right in front of the microphone, like when it comes to shotguns. I won't get a bunch of ambient noise. There's so many reasons that I'm happy that I have this and that I'm going to use this. And you'll definitely be able to see in the quality to upcome throughout the videos with having something like this. So, awesome. The WM-9 Pro, the Pixel WM-9 Pro, I've got to give it up and say it was great. Came with the lavalier mics that I needed, and the lavalier mics sound great. So don't really have anything bad I can say about this. I can't say it worked bad on battery power or anything. That wraps it up for this. I hope you all enjoyed, and you know what you need to do? You need to stick around for this outro right here, because that'll tell you what you need to follow, and make sure you subscribe and all that stuff. So stick around.
Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and you want to see more, gotta make sure that you subscribe. Help me out by liking, sharing, comment down below. You know you want to get that interaction, so comment, and make sure you follow Twitter at ReadySetGame87. This way you can see what I'm up to and what's going on. For all those who like watching my videos, I'll see you next time.